Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. A special warm welcome if you're brand new here. I'm KiwiSimsKate, Kiwi because I'm from New Zealand, Sims because I love The Sims, and Kate because that's my name. Simple as that. So welcome on into another speed build. Today I'm bringing you another build that I completed on our stream. So at the moment I'm streaming 4 times a week over on twitch.tv/KiwiSimsKate. And if you want to come and hang out with us, we would love to have you. We do a lot of The Sims 4 building. We do a lot of gameplay. I'm working on a legacy family at the moment who are into their generations 8 and 9. And then also coming up, once I finish my legacy family, we're actually going to be streaming the 2nd season of Survivor Sulani, which if you're one of our older community members, you may remember the first season. It's basically a Sims 4 gameplay series that I base off of Survivor, the reality TV show, and we did the first season a long time ago, and I still haven't got round to doing season 2, but once we're done with our legacy, I definitely want to get into that, and we are going to have viewer submitted Sims that are going to compete to become the sole Sims survivor. So yeah, go and follow me over on Twitch if you want to keep notified about that and join our little community. But today here in our YouTube video, I'm bringing you a kind of craftsman-style family home. I had a sim in mind that I was building this for, which sort of changed after a while. So I kind of started with a sim in mind, and then when I got closer to the end, it kind of changed into something a little bit different. My first idea for this home was I kind of wanted to furnish it like it was a home that a sim or a family of sims had just moved into. So I think a lot of the ground floor at least might feel like it's not super cluttered. It's quite clean and clear, almost like a what's the word, like an example house. That's not the word. When you go into a home that's there as just one version of a potential home you might be able to buy. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but when you're property hunting, and it's all, done up really nicely with all new furniture and everything looks perfectly perfect, obviously not like a real lived-in home. There's nothing in the drawers and there's not a lot of clutter around, that kind of thing. So that was kind of how I first started building this, but the longer I worked on it on stream, the more I was just kind of getting into decorating it and placing clutter, and then before I knew it, I'd gotten carried away, and I think it looks a little bit lived in, but still very much a tidy home. The sim that I originally was planning on building this for is in the law career in the game, and so I definitely knew I wanted a really lovely kind of traditional study office space upstairs, and I wanted something that looked a little bit fancy but not over the top. So there's a really lovely entertaining area out the back, a swimming pool, and a really nice kind of open plan kitchen and dining space as well. Upstairs there are 2 bedrooms, and there's also a bedroom on the ground floor, and one of the bedrooms is furnished for 2 children. Again, the sim that I had originally thought about giving this house to was single at the time, but my plan for him, because he's part of my wider legacy family, I was having him reconnect with an old teen flame. So he was going to kind of reconnect with his childhood sweetheart, his boyfriend who he had in high school, and they were going to get married and then adopt a child. So the kids' room is not necessarily super, doesn't have a ton of character in it. Like it's not for a sporty sim or a sim into void critters or anything like that, but I wanted it to look really nice, as if maybe they had put loads of fun things in there for the child, so that when they brought the child home from the adoption agency, the child felt maybe a little bit spoilt. They had this beautiful space to themselves that maybe they had never had before. So that was the idea there as well. And then the exterior was based on, and actually most of the floor plan was based on an image that I found in Pinterest. So if I can hunt down the image again, I will put it on screen now. But if I was not able to find it, then you won't be seeing it. But it's a Pinterest image, and as soon as I scrolled past it, I was so in love with the blue color of the home, and I really loved this separate garage space as well. And I knew as soon as I saw the home, the image on Pinterest, that there would be some really great pieces, particularly with the Growing Together pack, high school years, seasons, that would work really well with this style of home, this very kind of craftsman shape and style. So even the backyard, sometimes with images that I work off from Pinterest or inspiration images, you only get the front of a house, or maybe I only work off a floor plan and then I make up the look of the exterior. In this case, I was quite fortunate to have an image of the front, an image of the back as well, and the floor plan. So that was really handy, because it's always great to have a starting point. And, I build quite a lot just completely plucking ideas out of my head, but sometimes it can just maybe push you in a different direction you might not normally do if you work off an image. And I try and have quite a few different boards in my Pinterest account that are for different styles as well, so depending on how I'm feeling. So this here is where I pick out this gorgeous blue. I love this rich blue that I used for the siding, and then I decided to pair it with some of the kind of wooden, I don't know if they're called shingles. I don't know what kind of siding that's called, but the brown that I use with it as well. And I think both of those wooden sidings, the plain, the one that I've used in blue and the one that I've used in brown, I'm pretty sure they both came with Growing Together, and I love them both. I love that we got two quite different styles. So the really kind of clean, clear, just plain horizontal slats, and then the more sort of rusticy feel that I used in the brown color here. And I also used the Growing Together columns out the front and the porch. Still very much obsessed with those columns. Still very much obsessed with the build by items in that pack, in fact. And I think they pair really well with a lot of the seasons items, because we did get craftsman-style build by with seasons as well as with Growing Together. So they worked really well. And then also the Greenhouse Haven kit that we got a little while back. I used the windows in those for to wrap around where the dining room is going to be. And I love those windows because we have a version of the window where they're open. And if I'm honest, I've been using those windows a lot. I love them so much. I'm so happy we got them. And it's kind of cool that we got them in a kit too. So, if you don't have the money to to fork out for a full expansion pack or a game pack, you've got something cheaper like a kit where you can get a few build buy items as well. I was expecting we were maybe going to get more build buy kits recently. I guess we got the chic one. What was that one called? The most recent one that came where we got the decorative pillows. That's actually one of the very few add-ons for The Sims 4 that I haven't yet got myself. So there's that, and there's a couple of Kaz kits that I still haven't bought. Not that I don't want any of them. I've just had to just be a bit more careful with my spending recently. So I will get them at some point, or perhaps I'll put them on a Christmas list or something and have Mr. Kiwi add them to my stocking. Who knows? I'll have a little quiet word with him perhaps. Sorry, I just had to pause my audio recording there for a few minutes while I waited for my neighbour to not be quite so loud with their music on a Sunday afternoon. It is beautiful weather outside, so it's definitely like barbecue party season, and love the season, but some of my neighbours' activities are a bit frustrating. So anyway, apologies for that if it felt weird where I stopped and where I am continuing with the voiceover. Right, let's get back to it. So inside, furnishing this house. So this is the kitchen. I used mostly Dream Home Decorator for this area, but also using the new Growing Together refrigerator, which I love. And also I think those blinds are from Cottage Living, if I'm not mistaken. Love those still. They're one of my favorite like curtains or blinds in the game. I really wish we had like multiple different widths of it though. That would be really amazing. And even like I have some custom content blinds where they are at different lengths as well. So you know how you've got it completely covering the window, or maybe half up and then fully kind of scrolled right to the top so you get loads of light in. That would have been really cool too, but anyway, that's why we've got custom content. I play around here with some of the wall color as well, but then I think I go for this kind of more darker color scheme with the cream accessories and appliances. I just felt like it looked a bit more modern. I wanted the interior of this house to feel fairly new. I wanted the build to look craftsman traditional, but like it was built more recently and it was just built in that style. But I wanted the interior to have, all the modern conveniences and appliances and wall coverings and all of that kind of thing. So I definitely think the sim that I had in mind for this house is quite modern, quite stylish as well, quite likes to maybe show their house off to others. It's not extravagant, but it's definitely a really lovely home, and it's got some really nice features. This dining room is one of my favorite parts of the house. I do have a bit of a habit of building dining rooms with loads of windows around it. I don't know why. I just think maybe I would love it in real life. I mean, my dining space in my house at the moment, not that we really use it, has got two big windows on two of the walls, and then it's sort of more open plan to the kitchen and the living room. But I just think it is, I guess I imagine this is like in my alternative reality where my life is super perfect. I wake up and obviously I have a private chef who's just cooked me a really healthy and delicious breakfast with like a fruit platter and some yummy oats or something, or scrambled eggs, and I take my breakfast and I get the morning paper that's been delivered and I take it to my dining table, which is, the morning sunshine is streaming through the windows, and I soak up a bit of vitamin D. So this is what's going on in my brain when I'm designing for The Sims. I basically just design things for The Sims that I wish I had IRL. I mean, I feel like that's quite relatable, right? We all do that. I also found a few appliances to tie this sort of bronze goldy look in with some of the swatches in the kitchen. I really love that sink. That sink is probably my favorite sink in the game until the new Home Chef Hustle sink, which I adore. But before that one, this was definitely my favorite. Can't remember which pack it was from, but it comes in this really lovely bronze color, which also ties into the pieces around the refrigerator. The refrigerator's beige, but some of the details have this goldy, bronzy look. And then this coffee machine was in a gold. The handles on the counters, they're a bit more of a brownish wood tone, but I think kind of from a distance they work as well to tie those colors in. So I was really liking this color scheme there, where it's got the black and the gold and the cream. I think it looks fairly luxe. In the living room, for this house, the floor plan I was using had this really cool kind of atrium living space. So it had this double story living area, and it had, obviously we don't have it in the game, but it had this amazing, huge, tall feature fireplace. And so I just used this little cutout to kind of fake it and use the stone wall covering inside to make it look like it was kind of part of the chimney. And then I love, am I allowed to say I love the color in my build? I do. I love the colors I picked out for this room as well. I think that the stone in here works really well with this sage mint green, and this wall covering that we got with Growing Together is so stunning. I mean, I'm a sucker for green anyway, but sage green in particular recently is gorgeous, and I love that it's very popular at the moment, so you can find it in a lot of things. And then using the was it the Book Nook kit that these sofas came from, or did they come from Growing Together as well? I can't remember, but what I do remember is when I built this on stream, it was a few months ago now, in fact quite a few months ago, and I think I had only just purchased the Book Nook kit just before working on this build. So I was really keen to use as many pieces from that kit as possible. I don't think I got it immediately when it came out. And then when I did get my hands on it, I was really excited to try some pieces. I didn't know how I would feel because I was a little underwhelmed when I saw the screenshots. But trying it, actually, I think it is pretty cool. I do wish we maybe, it's literally called a Book Nook kit. I do wish we had at least one other style of bookshelf. We only got one style of bookshelf. I do love that they are modular, that we can move them around, make slightly different shapes. That's great. But for a book kit, I would have thought we would get a couple of different bookshelves. Nonetheless, it's a gorgeous kit. I do love all the items that we did get in it. We also got some really cute little clutter pieces for side tables or coffee tables, which I use here. And then I just pick out some lovely ceiling lights for that space as well. One thing I will just mention now that you may or may not notice, I mean, I might be shooting myself in the foot by even mentioning it. Maybe you wouldn't have even noticed if I didn't tell you. But when I went to edit this video, because I am quite a slow builder, I really take my time and I look through a lot of options before I make decisions. This house had quite a few hours of footage to get through in order to create a speed build that was not a ridiculous length. Obviously, you'll see I got it to just under 40 minutes. I like to attempt to keep my speed builds much shorter than that. I sort of, in an ideal world, I wouldn't be making a speed build that was longer than 30 minutes. But if you have seen other videos on my channel, you'll know that that's not always the case, particularly with houses that maybe have more than 2 bedrooms. I'm not a fast builder, and so when it comes to speeding up the footage of me building, I don't like to speed it up so fast that it's horrible to watch. I have kind of a sweet spot I like to try and hit, but even in doing that for this build, I was at just under 2 hours of footage after speeding the footage up. So it took me quite some time to edit this, but I did persevere. There were times I wanted to give up and just go ahead and edit a different build that I did that was smaller, but I thought, no, I really love this build. I think you all will love it too. So I stuck with it, and finally I got it all down just under 4. I don't know how I cut a 2 hours of footage down to 40 minutes. I'm not sure. I think maybe it was sorcery, potentially. I may have some superpowers in me. Who knows? So I did it anyway, and if this build is longer than you enjoy watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, I've probably lost you by now anyway, or you didn't even click on this video. But I do at least try and have a bit of a variety on the channel as well, so I'm not going to always give you 40-minute speed builds. I actually would like to do some apartments as well, dotted in between some of my uploads, so hopefully something for everyone. Anyway, the other point why I wanted to bring the editing up was I have cut a few things out of the build. I've tried to keep in all the important pieces, but you'll see every now and then there's sort of like a, if you slow down the footage, you'll be able to tell where I've kind of faded one frame to a different one, and skipped something because I've been just trying to save time on the video. So I think I've kept in everything that you'll want to see. The only big thing that I cut out was the bathrooms, and I did want to maybe leave one bathroom in, but in the end I just thought, no, it's too long. All the bathrooms look the same. I have kept the one bathroom screenshot in at the end, but all the bathrooms, I've pretty much cloned all the objects over. I just change out some of the artwork, I think, and maybe some of the plants are a little bit different. But I mostly use all the other same stuff. I use the same tile on the floor and the walls. And yeah, look, it's a bathroom. There's not much to it. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. I think it looks fine. So if you're not sure if you want to download this because you haven't seen what the bathrooms look like, they look fine. Trust me, it's fine. I guess that leads me into letting you know if you do want to download this. My gallery ID is KiwiSimsKate, and pretty much all my builds are CC free. There might be one in there that's custom, that's marked as custom content, but pretty much everything I upload there I try and keep CC free. All of my speed builds are there. I've got some Sims, some households if you're interested in that kind of thing. I don't have a huge amount of content, but I don't upload absolutely everything I create. I just kind of upload the things that I think are worth uploading, Now I'm moving on to the study. Actually, I've moved upstairs to the top floor now. So finished on the ground floor. There are 2 bathrooms on the ground floor, which I skipped both of them, sorry. There's one that's an ensuite to that main bedroom down there, and then one family bathroom. Upstairs here, there's a family bathroom and one ensuite to the other double bedroom. And then here is the office study room I was talking about. So this room has probably got the most personality of all the rooms. I wanted it to feel really traditional. I wanted lots of kind of rich furnishings, these dark wood tones, kind of like an old man lawyer's office. If you picture what that would look like in your head, that's what I wanted. And just for a little bit of fun, I added the fish tank. Partly for fun, but also I just didn't know what to add on that wall. I considered adding more bookshelves, but I thought I'd probably overdone the bookshelf idea by now in the house as a whole. So, fish tank it was. I remembered about the fish tank. Often if I'm not sure what to place in a room, and I feel like it's mostly furnished but it needs just something extra, I often go and look in the activities and skills area and see if I can maybe add something to the home that's actually usable for your sim as well, not just for decoration, because sure, decoration is lovely, and all the main amenities are covered, bed, toilet, mirror, etc. But activities and skills, I try to have something for your Sims to do, so they don't necessarily have to travel off lot to do things, to build their skills, or to do an activity, music, or whatever it might be, art or something. Now this is the second double bedroom. So the downstairs bedroom feels maybe a little bit more chic, particularly with the color scheme. And then this bedroom is, I pictured it as being a spare room just for the family I was designing for, but obviously you could do whatever you want with it if you downloaded it. But I love the color scheme up here too. I just think it's maybe a bit more niche, this green. It's a bit of a duller green. I still like it, but it's not as chic as the bedroom downstairs, let's put it that way. But I thought that I found some really nice items that kind of fit with this color scheme. So the room's not hugely matchy, but it still ties in really well together. There's this green robe, there's the wallpaper with the wainscoting, there's the chairs from, I think, Book Nook Kit, with that kind of stripy green corduroy almost, it seems. And then there's the bed, which I've never used that swatch before, but I think it kind of worked. I think I pulled it off. Don't know. I'm happy with it anyway. And then I move on to the very last room inside the house. Also that room, that double room that I just finished, has an ensuite too. And again, the ensuite is pretty much a mirror image of the ensuite downstairs, which uses a lot of growing together items that we got in that pack. Then this last bedroom, this third bedroom in the house, is quite a big one. You could easily turn this into a double room. You could switch out the single beds for a double. You could have bunk beds in here. You could split this room and have 2 bedrooms from it. It is that big. And you might have to just change some of the floor plan to make sure there's a door to the hallway or something. But I created a kids room, and I wanted it to, this room is really where, this and the office is where I started pulling out more clutter than I had originally intended. I just had a little bit too much fun. There's just so many great items now for kids rooms, and I wanted this to be maybe a little bit more of a grown-up child. Maybe they're moving closer to their teen years, but they've still got some toys and stuff left over from being a kid. Because I was thinking the sim that for me, I wanted to move into this house, they were going to adopt a child. I kind of wanted it to look like they had put everything, like they'd just gone to a toy store or a kid's store and bought the whole store because they really wanted to make sure that this kid adjusted well and was kind of spoiled and had everything they needed to really feel at home when they got here. So they've even got this amazing like library nook corner of the room. If I had this as a child, oh my God, I would be so happy. Like this library, and I could curl up in one of these comfy chairs and maybe have the radio on or read a book or just stare at my plants. Oh my goodness, I would have loved it. Anyway, moving outside now. When I get to this stage of editing the footage as well, I decided that it would be best to only leave the most important parts of the landscaping in, so you definitely get the general gist and then get the idea of what I used and where I place things. But again, there's just a few areas that I cut out. Hopefully it doesn't affect the kind of the viewing of the video terribly. Hopefully it still sort of makes sense and it's cohesive and you can kind of follow along. If you ever do have questions about my builds, how I did something, how I built something, how I decorated something, why I chose something, you are more than welcome to ask in the comments below, or if you've just got a comment, drop a comment if you like. I'm happy to have a chat about it. I love basically discussing anything Sims related. So you would have seen me rotate the house as well. I was realizing that I didn't have enough space for the backyard for how much I wanted to fit back there. I wanted to put a swimming pool and some entertaining area and stuff. So I rotated it 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So the entrance is just on the other corner of the street. And then I pull out, as per usual, so many wonderful debug and live edit plants and landscaping items. Thank goodness for debug and live edit. We were talking about this recently on stream, and it's just such a lifesaver because first of all, if you're challenging yourself to do a cheaper build, it is an excellent way to save some money and still make your house look really impressive. You can make a drab house look really special just with a bit of landscaping. And if you use the debug and live edit items, you're not paying for any of that. It's all zero simoleons. And in my opinion, a lot of the plants from those menus are better than the ones that you pay for. There are some really lovely ones that you can't get in the debug menu, particularly that, and I never can remember the name of the pack, some kind of a garden one that we got. It's very old. Anyway, we got some really beautiful flowers. We got like the I'm blanking. I can't remember any of the names of the plants either. Anyway, we got some lovely stuff, and there are no debug and live edit object options. So that's fine though. We do have a lot of great free options in landscaping. So obviously I am using a lot of those. And then, I created above this driveway, I put this sort of, I don't know what you would call that. Like a, nope. Over the top of the driveway where I sort of place those slats across the top of the columns. What do you call that? I'm not sure, but I like it. And it was in the photo that I was using as a reference in Pinterest. And I really wanted to keep that specific idea as well. I thought that was really cool. Inside the garage here, I used a couple of the doors from, I think they're Snowy Escape ones, those slidey doors, because I think that they look a little more chic than the garage door, the one that's like the roller door. I use that one a lot too, but sometimes it's nice for a bit of a change. And then in here, I just placed a few sort of things that made it look like it was a bit of a storage area, or possibly somewhere where they do a bit of working out. So I've put the punching bag down as well. And I grabbed a couple of cars from the live edit menu, put one here in the garage and one just in the driveway outside, and then a few wall and floor objects that make it look a little bit more like it's not maybe particularly well taken care of. There's a few stains, maybe this shed used to be here before the house and they've redone the outside, but they haven't really, they haven't bothered with the inside because it's not really somewhere they spend a lot of time. Then I move outside, and the last few things that I get done here in this build are the swimming pool area with a barbecue and kind of outdoor kitchen place, and then a bit more landscaping around here. So this is where I imagine they bring their friends, maybe a summer cocktail party with a bit of a barbecue. I imagine they are a little bit into status and being the cool kids in the neighborhood, the cool ones on the block. They've got this gorgeous kind of state-of-the-art barbecue. These counters that I use with the barbecue, the ones with sort of the slate tile or slate stone, I love them so much. They are very expensive. I think they're the most expensive counters we have, but they are gorgeous. And then I do the same trick over the top of the outdoor kitchen with these columns and stuff. The thing that I can't think of what it's called. So coming up not too far away, I do a little bit more landscaping, and then there should be some screenshots of the whole build. My screenshots will also show you an example of one of the bathrooms, so if you're interested in that, stick around for them. And if you want to download this build, as I said, my gallery ID is KiwiSimsKate, so you can find this build and all of my others there. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please do give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I have future uploads. You can find me on all my socials under KiwiSimsKate. That's Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all of them. I'm all over the place. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Take care out there. Bye.